Hey there everybody, welcome to Story Time with Jasper. I hope that you all have been doing very well and that you are ready for another story today. Now, make sure that you're all comfortable. I have my comfies on myself. I got my pajamas, I got my slippers, I even have my dino socks on right now. Zilla's favorite kind of sock, even though he can't wear them on his little stubby feet. Now, Zilla and I have a story for you that maybe you've heard of, and maybe you haven't. But remember that all stories are unique and special, and hopefully this is a story that you can pull something out of to help make your story a good one. We have here a story and picture by Maurice Sendak called Where the Wild Things Are. Now, this book has got some great pictures. So I'm going to do my best actually to sit a little bit more so you can see those pictures. And we're going to take a look at where the wild things are. You ready, Zilla? All right, well, let's get things going. Where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. Oh, mischief? He's putting a giant nail in the wall with a hammer. He made mischief of one kind. He made mischief of another. He's chasing a dog around with a fork. Look at him. Little wild Max, making mischief one after another and after another. His mother finally called him a wild thing. And Max said, "I'll eat you up!" So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Well, look at his face. He doesn't look too happy to have been sent off by himself. No food at all before going to bed? I can't imagine that he's feeling very happy right now. What did he do wrong? But his mom called him a wild thing. And that very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And this forest was growing and growing in his room. And it continued to grow. Grow more and more and more. And it grew until his ceiling hung with vines. And the walls became the world all around. The forest grew so big and so much that it pretty much took on the world in his room. Now, while he was there, an ocean tumbled by with a private boat just for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. There he goes. Sailing away, sailing away. So he sailed into the night and into the day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. Well, that's a very interesting creature to come across, but that must be something wild. That is a wild thing. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. So roaring and gnashing and clawing teeth and eyes and that sounds terrible. But do you see what Max is looking like? Can you see Max? Because even though they were doing all that stuff, Max said, "Be still." And he tamed them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. Have you ever tried doing a staring contest? It's hard to do without blinking. But he stared into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Oh, he's so wild. He didn't blink once. Oh my goodness, that scares me half to death. Why isn't he blinking? Oh, but he has been declared the most wild thing of all. In fact, and because of that, they made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Oh, this new king is pretty good. We're going to start a rumpus? Okay, let's get it going. Ready, set, go. Look at them. They're rumpusing around, shouting at the moon, dancing all around, jumping up and down. Man, what else can you do during a rumpus? I guess if you're big and strong enough, be swinging through the trees, laughing as they please. Man, this is a wild and rowdy rumpus. Ooh, little parties and parades every day for the king of the wild things. Now stop, said Max, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. Oh, and Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, all around from far across the world, he smelled the good things to eat. So he gave up on being king of where the wild things are. Huh. Look at him. Feeling all sad, feeling all lonely, and smelling where all the good things are. Where are these good things to eat? He's smelling. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go! We'll eat you up! We love you so!" And Max said, "No!" The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Huh. And he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. And that was a story of how Max went to where the wild things are. This is an interesting book, because you remember how it started? Max was running around doing whatever he wanted, and his mom called him a wild thing. And in response to that, Max ended up saying that he was gonna eat her up. It was sent to his room because he was being rude to his mom. Sent up there without having any supper. No food before bed. But you notice, even after he went to where the wild things are, and he was having a good time, causing a rumpus and just doing whatever he felt like doing with these guys, he still felt lonely. He just wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. And at the end of his long journey in thought, there was a hot meal waiting for him in his very own room. When you're going through your own story today, remember, your story is special and unique. Don't take all the little things that we have for granted, that we have food to eat, that there is something for you to sleep on, for clothes to be able to wear. When we want to do whatever we want, we got to make sure we take into account if we're making our story a good one by the things that we say and the things that we do. That we're showing respect, that we're being thankful for what we have. That it's okay to be wild sometimes, but just don't be so wild that you end up making somebody else's story not a good story. Because it is our hope that by taking a look at some of these stories, we get to take away something and make it a part of our own story. That we think about how we can make our personal story, your story, my story, everybody's story, a good one. Alrighty, everybody? So, I hope that you enjoyed Where the Wild Things Are, and we will see you again next time. Alright? Take care, everybody.